Hi, Gil from Testing Gil here. Today, let's talk about exploration. We're doing this all the time in some way, but we're not doing it nearly enough. Here's a non-testing example. Did you ever download an application to your phone? Of course you did. Now, did you read all the specs for this app before you used it? Of course not. You stumbled around until you figured it out. Nobody reads docs anymore. If the developers were smart, the application would lead you on its way to teach you how to use it. If the developers were less smart, you'd probably figure it out because you'd say, well, these things are similar to the application that I downloaded like a week ago, and these are not sort of the same. This is exploration. It doesn't have to be like in a jungle or out of space. You can explore on your phone and still feel like Marco Polo. Okay, back to testing. What is exploration in testing? Before we answer that, we want to answer a bigger question. What do we need from testing? What do we want from testing? And knowing that the app works is only part of it. The first thing we'd like to assert is that the application is working according to a spec. Now, the spec is incomplete, maybe not up to date, but it contains the important stuff. So when we test, we'd like to see that the application does what the spec it needs to do. Now, this leads us to part 2. Because the spec is always incomplete, we try to fill in the blanks. We have in our head some expectations and some assumptions. For example, in our Bigger Better Bookstore app, you can buy, wait for it, books. The spec says so. What it doesn't say is that every book has a price. But if we see a book without a price on the screen, it'd probably say it's a bug. Why? Well, we have used online shopping before, and we know that whenever we see an item, we expect to see a price near it. This is similar with all online shops. In fact, we shouldn't have really expectations as testers. We try to put ourselves in the shoes of the user and ask, does this make sense? Will there be a surprise here? Another thing that probably would not appear in the spec is something less functional. I'm betting that the spec doesn't say that once you have your purchase confirmed, you don't need to wait more than 2 days. But we'll be very annoyed if it actually took a week. Why? Again, because we have experience, expectations, assumptions of how online shopping works, and it doesn't make sense that it will take a week. So we've covered what should work as specified and what should work based on what we expect or experience tells us. What about the rest? Well, all the rest are the things that we don't know and would like to learn. That is exploration. Learning how the app really works. We may find things surprising, acceptable, sometimes even downright infuriating. But those feelings or judgment need to wait until we actually find out. Like I said in the beginning, we actually do some exploration. We run a test script and go a bit off-road. Whenever you don't have a concrete expectations, you're actually exploring. I also said we don't do it enough. If you think about it, we should do a lot more than we actually do. After all, the scope of what we know or expect from the app is a lot smaller than all the things that we don't know about it. We don't do enough exploration because we prioritize test scripts over exploration. While there's some merit in covering things in the scripts, step by step, the scripts also contain a lot of steps that are not that important, but just fit there because of the order of the steps. Also, what goes into the script is what we actually thought about when writing the script. The result is that when we're testing, we're spending time on things that went into the script but are not that important. This time takes away from exploration. So what we're doing actually is prioritizing finding out if things work as expected versus learning how the app actually works. So, if we want to make sure we have time for exploration, we're doing more of it, we need to take care of a couple of things. First, schedule time for exploring. Don't use the time left after running test scripts because there may not be any time left. Second, automate more. The more automation we have, we free more time for exploration. The third one is a bit more complex. We need to write our scripts, both automated and manual, and keep them focused on the important stuff. Not have them go on side quests. We leave those to the exploration. This way, the bugs they find are the important ones, and we leave more time to spend on exploring rather than on low priority bugs. There are ways to formalize and make exploration more effective, but there'll be time for that in other videos. In the meantime, remember, explore more and like no one has done before. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and watch other videos on this channel. And in the comments, tell me how much of your time is spent on exploration and what you've actually found. Until next time, bye-bye.